Maharaj Shri, which knowledge is king of knowledge and is the most confidential of all secrets?
Knowing your Swarup, your true spiritual self, knowing the Swarup of the Lord, you will understand the Swarup of the Lord. The one who does not know the Swarup of himself does not know the Swarup of the Lord and does not know the true nature of the material world. For example, if you know the glory of one drop of Ganga Ji, then you would know the glory of the entire Ganga river.
परम पिता प्रभु के
So, this body is supposed to be 3.5 times the length of the arm, but do you even know your own body? We don't know this. We just know the covering. This body is actually just a covering. It's just like a cloth. The Atma Tattva, the God element, the soul, you do not know that. When you know your Swarup, your true spiritual self, once who realizes that, realizes God. But this information is given by the Guru, but the Lord who comes in the form of the Guru. Knowing your Swarup, your true spiritual self, if you realize that,
तुम्हें हो जाए अपने स्वरूप का बोध अगर हो जाए
then you will know the glory of the Lord and the trap of this material world. You'll know about the Maya, the illusion. Until you know this knowledge, and everything else will be incomplete. There might be a lot of discussions, but you don't have self-realization. So then everything will just be a show. But if you realize your true self, then you will be successful. So then detachment from the material world, realization of true self, then you will realize God. So what is the key thing here? The key thing is here to chant Radha Radha, to chant Ram Krishna Hari. This will take you on the path where you will realize your Swarup, your true spiritual self, to realize, see the God in person. So when you realize yourself, then you will be able to see the Lord in person. Or if you see the Lord in person, then you will be able to realize your true self. Both go hand in hand. So, we are part and parcel of the Lord. When you take a drop of Ganga, what would you say? This is Ganga water, right? So Krishna says, Mavevansho. He says Mavevansho. So you are my part and parcel.
भगवान कहते हैं ना ममई वांश तू मेरा अंश है तो हमारा स्वरूप क्या है भगवत स्वरूप है
When somebody goes to the abode of the Lord, then as Hari, that's how he is. Only know the Lord, then you don't have to know anything else. Just knowing the Lord, just obtaining the Lord, then you don't have to obtain anything else. If this is not possible, then if this doesn't happen, then everything else you do is just a waste. Everything else is illusion, is ignorance. Those dharmic activities, those knowledge, what is the use of that if you don't realize the Lord, if you don't remember the Lord? Do you understand, my child? This is spiritual knowledge, but I like it that you are of a young age and you desire to know these things. So it's my prayer that you stop sinful activities and chant the name, and then this knowledge will start to manifest. The chanting of the holy name has great potency, but it's very difficult to focus your mind on chanting of the name. You can do anything else, but not chant. To sit down and chant one name for 2 hours, the mind will be filled with anxiety. When the mind is hit by the stick of the name, then all these faults of lust, anger, greed, attachment, run away. So when you're in the association of the Guru, all of these things are attacked. In the same way, when you go to a doctor and the doctor gives you medicine to cure things, the Guru gives you these things. And only at the lotus feet of the Guru is your devotion strengthened. So say if you have an urge for lust or to taste something or to hear something or to watch something, right now we're just doing whatever urges we have. Are we able to stop? Once who is able to control these senses, then he has the capability to gain knowledge, that after obtaining that knowledge, there's nothing else left to know. So you can hear all this information, but Right now, you'll have to do what the mind says. You'll have to go where the senses take you. It's only the brave who can stop his feet. And this bravery, this strength only comes by chanting the name. And unless you are doing bhajan, you might be talking about a lot of great things. These same things that we're talking about, like a fake note, fake currency is just like the real currency. So all the talk might appear to be real, but unless you have realization, it will appear like you're talking about the truth, but it will not have an effect. The listening of the Bhagavad Gita, the listening of the Leela, the pastimes of the Lord has so much effect that Dundkari, who had become a ghost, just by listening to Bhagavad Gita, the pastimes of the Lord, for 7 days, he was able to obtain the Lord, and a plane came to take him to the abode of the Lord. So if we give up this duplicity, then very soon this knowledge will manifest by the chanting of the name. The name has a lot of potency, but chanting the name is very difficult. Okay, but even like for Babajis, for people in the rounds order, have to control themselves entire life. Controlling yourself for 1 month, 2 months is difficult, but for life, imagine for 50 years you have been controlling yourself, controlling your senses, but then for 5 minutes you fall down, then it's like the dam that was made of sand has been broken. So how difficult is it? If you're just pretending to be a renounced person, then yeah, it's a different story. But for somebody who's truly following this path, it's a difficult path. Giving up all your family, relatives, mother, father, giving up all the entertainment of the mind, and only relying on the Lord and no entertainment for the mind. Can you try do this even for a small time? Gurudev, I can do this for 2.5 months. 2.5 hours I can do puja, but it's very difficult to do the name. And by your mercy, people are now realizing what is the chanting of the name. I've come to Vrindavan many times, but I was not able to come to see you. But I remember your words that you had said that somebody can only come to Radha Keli Kunj, to our ashram, if you have the mercy of Radha Rani. I also write some bhajans, devotional songs sometimes. I used to write poems, material poems, but then I was inspired by you to write these bhajans. But I realized how difficult it is to write the poems about Radharani. I wrote a few lines and I realized how difficult it is to write about Radharani. See, what happens is you wrote something and your false ego wants to get boosted. See, over here, we do a surgery of your false ego using the tools of spirituality. We operate on your false ego, but the false ego wants to get boosted to write about Shriji, to write about Radharani. Do you think it's a small issue? Have you seen her? If you haven't seen, then how can you write? Pyaro dum chamte. Chamte, do you understand the word? So, you know how these great personalities have written these pastimes? No, this is not just a flowery collection of words. What they're seeing, they're writing. So, if you can sing these things, what the acharyas have written, then slowly you'll be able to see that. So, what I think is when you go to see saints, then you should go there to listen, only to listen. And if you have any curiosity, any questions, you should put that forward. And if you have any weaknesses, you should put that forward. But anything good that you're doing, you should never say that. Any realizations you might be gaining, never put that forward. Only your weaknesses put you forward. Hide your good qualities, and you have to reach a state where, lust, anger, greed cannot touch you. And that can happen by the association of saints, that can happen by satsang, but our false ego, tickles us to say this, to say that, we had this realization, but that is just your false ego. So we have to destroy this false ego. And without dissolving the false ego, we will not be able to get the love of Lord. We will not be able to realize Lord. And we are the spiritual doctors to help cure this disease of the false ego. If somebody says they're God realized, do you think we are jealous of them? No, we will want to wash their feet. So, don't pretend. If you pretend, you will be